Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wine Talk, where we enjoy it, drink it, and not overthink it. This is actually going to be my first wine talk in years. You guys seen me do love seats for so long, and definitely other events that I do consistently. But I always been told that when we're doing these virtuals, and I've done like literally 600 virtuals since COVID, it people always want to hear more about wine talk, about things going on in the industry that we may not always talk about, right? Because we just don't have that platform. So I said, you know what? I'm bringing back the wine talks, and I'm so excited. This is going to be my first episode again of Wine Talk in so many years. And so I decided to do this one a little different. I decided going forward, I'm going to feature some of the hottest people in the wine industry. I'm going to send them a bottle of my collection. Could be anything from the Love Cork Screw line or the Lampley Reserve. I'm going to send it to them. And while we're on the show, they're going to open it. Yep, I'm taking that chance. They're going to open it. I hope they're going to enjoy it. And we're just going to talk for a little bit, just something fun to do. All right. So I have my very first guest, Kiana Keys of Unpolished Grapes. I'm so excited for you to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So excited.
Thanks. So please tell everyone a little about yourself and we'll uncork the bottle. This one will actually
Yeah.
turn off the top. Yes.
So my name is Kiana. I'm from Chicago, and I love wine all of my adult life. I've been drinking wine since forever, and it finally occurred to me, if I'm looking for a passion, if I want to further a passion or delve deeper into a passion, then why not delve deeper into one right under my nose, literally? And I mean, the amount of wine, I love different styles of wine. I've always collected wines and aged them. And I said, I want to have a little more formal education so that I know exactly what I'm drinking. And so that when I talk to people, I have some knowledge behind the wine industry. And so recently I decided to get formal education and get my WSET level 1 and 2. I did kind of like a crash course. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It's a lot of studying, but if you're really ambitious and have tons of energy like me, then it might be the route for you. But I did do that this summer, and I said I think I want to do the level 3, and I had a little hesitancy with it because I know how much studying was involved. But I said I want to do it. I have to do it. So I am currently enrolled in level 3. And
Congrats.
I am, my class is coming to an end very soon, and I'm ready to start studying and gearing up for this blind wine tasting that I have to
Whew.
do to pass the exam. So,
That is not easy. Those courses, so funny when I was studying in Healdsburg, they were talking about these courses and they would compare them seriously, no shade to other industries out there. They would seriously compare it to like studying to be a doctor. Like there's so much. It just the way they dissect every single part of the process,
yeah,
from the word usage to not English. Most of the words are not English. To just really memorizing so many parts, so many moving parts to this industry. So I know what you're going to go through, and wow,
yeah.
congratulations to you.
Thank you. I tell everyone I now know the direction of the flow of every river in France, every wind pattern, every altitude. Like I know so much, and in the moment it feels very tedious. But within when I visit wine bars and I'm looking at a bottle of wine, it makes sense because I'm like, oh, this is from a certain place, and I'm able to place it, and I'm able to explain to others why it tastes the way it does. So I'm really happy to have the educational component, and and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I definitely want to expand on my experiences and start a career really to complement my journey.
Well, congratulations again. And everyone watching, please follow Kiana of Unpolished Grape. She is on an amazing journey. Again, I know exactly what she's about to experience, and I'm very excited for her. Very few of us make it to that level. Very few of us have the patience to study like that, especially myself in my old age. I totally again understand. I'm very excited for you. But this is perfect transition. Since you know wine, I would love for you to try Into Deep. Now it's so funny. So again, I'm kind of sending different varietals. I'm not exactly sure what varietal I send to each individual taste maker and wine. So I'm very excited that you have Into Deep. Into Deep has gotten some very interesting reviews. So I would love for you to try it. I want you to try it on the show, and I'm going to toast with you. But take your time. Please tell the audience whatever you want to say. By all means, go for it. But she is trying Into Deep by Love Cork Screw. Yes.
Absolutely. Into Deep, Vino Blanco, American dry white wine. And I'm very excited to open this up. And I'm just reading the back because I read the back label of every bottle. I just like to be familiar. And I am really excited. So is this a varietal or is it I'm assuming it's a blend?
Yes, it is a blend. It is a blend. And I want you to, I'm going to tell you what's in it a little later, but I want you to try it first. I want to get your thoughts. I always want to first listen to tasting profiles, especially for wine novice, because at the end of the day, we can talk about percentages of certain grape styles that we use, but not everyone gets that. They want to know, well, how does it taste? Well, how does it just taste? So I really want you to hit it, and of course, I will give that information as we go.
Great. All right, so let's try. Got my favorite wine glass. This is the glass that I use for wine. It just tastes better when it's in this glass. I really like. It's more like a almost like a Pinot glass with it comes together to top. But
Yeah,
I really like it white. And I'm very excited. Let's see. We have, it looks a little spritzy here, a little bit. So I have a pale lemon in color. And the first thing I always like to do is, even before I swirl, I like to just take a sniff. I like to know what it smells like. So much of our taste buds are tied into what we're actually smelling. So it's important for me to do that as the first step. And then I swirl and I unlock all of the magical aromas, and then I sniff again, and it smells absolutely delicious. So I'm very excited to taste it. And here it goes.
cheers.
Cheers. I really like this.
Thank you. Really like it?
Yeah, I do. My first thought is has a little fizz on it.
Yes.
Yes, it's a little
purposely.
Spritzy.
Yes. So please continue, and I'll explain that as well.
Yes. Very light, very refreshing. This reminds me of an afternoon. So I tend to drink whites during the afternoon. It's like the perfect segue before you have dinner and have a heavy meal. I just like the refreshing acidity. Is very acidic, very fresh, very balanced.
Thank you.
I really like it.
Yay!
I like it.
Thank you. And it's so funny. You totally hit on exactly, I swear to you, exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a nice wine with a little effervescence. I didn't want to go into the sparkling category with that particular one. For business purposes, it goes on to a whole nother category of taxation when you hit the sparkling realm. But I did want a little fizz. I'm not a huge fan of sparkling. I wanted to keep it a nice price point to where I would feel that the flavor profile is exactly what I want to hit for the consumer, as well as I wanted to make it an easy afternoon enjoyable wine. So that is why that particular varietal is the only one in my entire line that has a twist cap. I wanted it simple, easy, afternoon picnic wine, thus the name Into Deep. You're getting a little deep for the afternoon and it could take you on to a whole nother level for the night. But I
Yep.
wanted it really simple. That one has a little bit of Chambourceau and Saval grape. So very light, young, easy, simple grapes from Michigan. Yes, Michigan. I wanted it so simple, didn't want it too serious. And the funniest thing is, when I produced this one, this is my only one that's a blend. I said to myself, I'm not taking this one seriously. And when I say this, I'm not saying that I'm not putting my all into it, but I wanted it just to be fun,
Yeah.
easy. I wasn't looking for any major awards in it, nothing. So, funny thing, I submitted all my wines to a big awards in Texas, actually in Houston, that they do every year. Sent all the judges cases of wine. Which one wins? Which one wins gold? Into Deep. And it's so funny. I just said, let me just throw it in there. I was hemming and hawing if I was even going to submit that one or not. That one ends up winning in Houston, Texas at an amazing award. So there you go. That's Into Deep. I'm so excited you like that one. That's exciting.
It actually reminds me a little bit of a Vino Verde from Portugal.
Yes.
Vino Verde is very young, very fresh, so not aged too long, but and that's kind of where the name Verde green comes from. That they're still green grapes, and they're known also for a little bit of spritz. The other thing that I wanted to say was I think this is really an excellent entry wine for those who are trying to get more into dry wines.
Yes.
Um, I know that some people's palates, they prefer sweet. They prefer like a sweeter, a more riper sort of body. But for those who are trying to get into dry, I think that this is a perfect um, bridge, so to speak, because the spritz kind of bites at the acidity a little bit. It makes it really easy. So I think that this will be a really good wine to introduce to someone who is trying to get more into dry whites. It's not as like a Chardonnay, like a buttery Chardonnay. That's a more developed palate. But I think
Yes.
that this is a really great. Like I can't imagine who would not like this. This is fantastic. I really like this.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so funny you mentioned the Vino Verde because that's actually what I was mimicking. That's
Oh,
precisely what I mimicked. So
well, there you
seeing you
go.
guys, her knowledge. Kiana is actually she's just being extra and being fantastic right now because she knows exactly what she's talking about. So that is amazing. Yes, that
Yeah.
was my take on Vino Verde.
There
And
you
you're absolutely right. Definitely for an entry level dry lover, and it's so easy to pair. I really, again, wanted to have a varietal on the drier side with a little bit of fizz that could be a perfect Bellini, could be perfect for a mimosa, as well as it pairs with everything. Because wine novice tend to overthink things about pairing and think that everything has to be just so precise. But if you have enough acid in there, you have enough citrus tone, it's going to go with everything. It's going to be great. So it's just, I wanted
yeah.
it just simple, simple.
Yeah.
So
I
thank
would
you
like
for
to
that.
drink this with a nice white pasta, like an Alfredo or
Mm,
something where I can squeeze a little bit of lemon on it. Like that I think would pair really well.
yes, I agree. I agree. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I wanted to get in because I am actually launching this during Black History Month. So you're going to be my first episode on during Black History Month. And I think it's a great time to just delve a little bit into the state of wine right now when it comes to BIPOC. What direction do you think it's going? And I'll backtrack a little bit by saying, when I entered in the wine industry so many years ago, late 90s, early 2000s, it didn't even look half as diverse as it does now. In all sectors, in all sectors. I worked on the distribution side and sales. I worked in the bar ownership side, and working with these vineyards. They're just they didn't look like us. It didn't look like us. But I am so happy, and I feel my heart is so warm to see so many more of us interested in an industry that doesn't look like us. We're still at 1% now, and it's going to take some time. We're still at only 1% of African Americans that are either negociants, vineyard owners, winery owners, or even wine professionals. It's still only 1%. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think about what you've seen through your studies, and just some things that you have learned as it relates to just diversity and inclusion within this industry so far?
Yeah, so when I first began my wine journey, I did start to do a little bit of research with the diversity in the field so that I knew what I was up against. I mean, it's important to me to know how I will be received and what the lay of the land is, what the current culture is. Not that it scares me, but I just need to know so that I know how to move, I know how to navigate, I know how to, show up and present myself. So I did unfortunately learn that the industry is not very diverse. It's dominated by white men, really.
Yes.
Yeah, and so and that some of the professional organizations that are associated with the prestigious wine groups are they have a somewhat of a negative reputation right now for how
Absolutely.
they treat men and people of color. So given that, in terms of me, like I said, it doesn't scare me. I just need to know so that I know how to move. And my thought was, being a Black woman, I said, okay, that means I need to know more than the average person.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
like,
Yes.
and with so many, so many things that we do, whether it's career, whether it's education, unfortunately, to prove ourselves, we have to sometimes be the smartest person in the room. And I don't say that to say others are not, but that we have a history of having a lot of times to work harder than others to achieve the same success. And so it was important for me to understand that, because when I went in, my very first decision was, okay, I need as much education as I can get. I need to build up my credentials so that I can be respected in the industry, and just for my own personal sake, my own knowledge. Education, no matter what the topic, is very important to me. But I've since starting my journey, I see all of the Black and brown faces that are in the industry, especially places like New York and Texas. There's a lot of
Yes.
Black faces that I'm seeing in Texas, and I'm following all these people, and I'm really happy that they're getting involved. And I believe that every one of us are moving the needle a little bit. We're all shifting the whole landscape a little bit to look more like us. We're wine consumers just like others. So the industry should be representative of us as well. And I like to see, from the winemaker to the negotiant to the just the wine Instagram model to Napa Valley recently brought on a staff member who is a Black woman, and I was happy to see that. So, we probably have a long ways to go, just like, every other industry. but I'm doing my part, and I'm trying to help connect others that are doing their part as well. And we're just gonna keep moving here.
And that's all we can do. I always say that I want to break every glass ceiling till there's no more to be broken. So again, it warms my heart to see so many amazing wine professionals coming now that look like me. And it's great to see it in all sectors of the industry, from sommeliers to yesterday, I ran into an amazing woman that has now become a somm for just a restaurant that's been in downtown Chicago for 56 years. And I wanted to just bawl. Like, I was so excited to see that, to see a lot of professionals getting in the distribution side, as well as the vintner side. And again, I'm just so excited. And I want to wish you just amazing success. I definitely have to shout out that you are part of the Divine Nine, like myself. So I just give you huge hugs in sisterhood, and know that you're just going to be amazing, and you got to keep going, because there's so many more that are going to look at you. And I always say, if you can affect one person to follow their dreams, then you've done your job.
Absolutely. And thank you for being such an example. So many people are, they reach success and then they just keep going on their independent path. I always appreciate those who are very successful, and then they look around, they say, I'm not finished. They look around and they say, who else can I include and bring into the fold? How can I expand the circle? And to me, that's what it's really about. I don't want to operate in a silo. I want to connect myself with others that are like me, and reach back, and I want to look forward back all around, all at the same time. I think you're doing really good things. I think you're being responsible with your platform, and you're using your platform very responsibly in terms of messaging and changing the narrative. And I think I one day hope to have a label. I would like to
Come
have a
on.
wine and a label, and come up with a grape and a blend. So I look to you. I appreciate it, and I really respect what you're doing and where you are.
Thank you. Come on. That warmed my heart. And like I always say, there's plenty of room. This is a $130 billion industry. There's room for
Absolutely.
all of us.
We're
All
not
of us.
competing. We're not competing. We are
None.
all walking our journeys alongside each other.
Yes, I always say, let's stay in our lanes, all next to each other, and cross the finish line.
Keep moving. Yep. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm so excited. This will be my first wine talk for everyone, again, that is watching. And I know there's going to be tons of you watching. Love Cork Screw has an amazing platform of great people. So I hope you all watch this first episode. Share. Tell everyone, know that we will have one of these weekly. We will get a wine talk. And again, it's just an honor to be able to send my reserves and my varietals to some of the hottest people in the wine industry. Kiana being my first. Thank you all for tuning in to Wine Talk again, and cheers to you and much success.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.